All right. Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Kevin. We are Dirty 20 Gaming, and it's Sunday, and it's time for yet another new show on this channel. We're going hard this year. We're going 5 nights a week eventually. Four for now, so I can get warmed up. I got the rest of January to get warmed up to 4 a week, and then we're going to crank it up. But tonight. Oh boy, we're gonna have fun tonight. Tonight is a system I built myself, designed to be super simple, and it's called Balance. So that is, we're not even gonna talk about the rules because it's so simple. You will understand how it works the first time we start to roll dice. I do have to dot some I's and cross some T's, though. The imagery that you see around us in the overlay, plus all the imagery in the introduction, came from Pixabay. There are 2 character arts on the screen right now that were done by the players themselves, and 2 that are done by Hero Forge. So thank you to all of those, and credit where credit is due on all of that stuff. We have with us tonight some more important stuff. Somebody got Twitch on? I can hear it. I just heard voices in the background. Okay, never mind. We'll keep going. We have with us tonight 4 players that I specifically chose for this game. I thought I want to do time-traveling detectives. Who do I want in this game? And these are the people that came to mind. So no pressure. In the order that they are in the overlay, I have had the wondrous joy of meeting this person in a one-shot run by a mutual friend of ours. And then thinking, that was a lot of fun. Isn't the world terrible? You never see these people again. I then got the joyous news that we were going to be playing together over on Mercs of Mischief and Too Many Warlocks. Saber, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I really love being here.
Oh, so much fun. When you're not here, I know you are one of the artists in question that I referred to earlier. Where can people find your stuff?
Right now, I'm just on Instagram. So at Saber_Sensei on Instagram is where you can find my artwork. There's not a lot there yet, but it's growing and building.
That's everybody always finishes their sentences with that. There's art. You should go and look at it. It's amazing. Full stop.
Thanks.
Moving across the top row. This is a very brave human being, is what this is. Tails, you are coming to us with a somewhat limited roleplay experience background, I would suggest. Yeah, is that fair?
I would say that suggestion's correct. Yeah.
Okay. You've also you've only played with one of these people before. And me. You have not streamed, not with us before either. So,
not with you. Yeah.
And brand new system. So many Braves there. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm looking forward to seeing Asher in action.
Me too.
What is your media presence like?
My media presence, I do have a podcast. It's called Tiny Fences, and it's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast that then turned into Joss Whedon podcast. It's been going on for 6 years. It's lots of fun. And I'm a teacher, which means I do role play a little bit on the fly every day.
Absolutely, yeah. Live improv with an audience, with a critical audience of up to 30. Yeah.
Yeah, very critical.
All of them judging you, like, nah, I don't know.
Exactly, pretty much.
Teaching life is improv.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and ducking quickly when necessary, I'm sure. There's no good segue from that. You can't say, speaking of ducking quickly, Villa Villas, you and I have got a considerably longer history than the rest of these. We have played off and on for over 2 years now. And in fact, I think I've got a guest appearance coming up on your non-streamed game coming up in a couple levels. But tell us about what else are you doing and where?
You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/villavillas. I am actually doing a run through of Shadow Hearts on the PS2. First run through. Really interested to see how that goes.
Oh, amazing! Thank you. And then down here beside me, because somebody had to go down here. Nick playing Benjamin Schmeidemeister. I'm thinking bad things about you just looking at that name. I'm going to screw that name up. I know I am. And I'm going to get added, and it's going to be awful.
I'm sure I will too.
But other than that, you, I know, are a full-time student, but I know you've got a thing on the go and a thing in the plan. So could you tell us about those?
Well, I guess the thing that is about to get launched, I think we're probably going to see if I can get Session 0 next Saturday for continuing the Dorm Life game that Kevin was running last year as sort of an introduction to D&D. So I'm trying to kind of get NPCs together. I've had a few rebellious ones which didn't do what I wanted them to do, but if NPCs are doing it, it may as well be a player.
Welcome behind the screen, man.
And the little thing that is, on the slightly more planning but more future side, there's a small chance, not necessarily small, but if I actually get around to doing it, I might be streaming over on Mudkip LV. I might be streaming over there at some point. I do have a thing I'm planning on streaming, but I don't know if it's actually going to work or if I'm going to decide to do something different. So I will make that as mysterious as possible.
Yeah, I was going to say cryptic works as an advertising technique. Absolutely. Keep it cryptic. They'll come to see what the hell you're doing. That's them. I
Definitely
am
be announcing
Kevin.
that on Discord.
I am. Yes, absolutely. We can connect with all of these fine folks through the Dirty 20 Discord, which would probably be a good time to do this. There we go. You can meet all of these people and many, many more people. And if you want to get behind the screen like Nick is, I will do that for you, and I will put it on stream. That is our new show coming in February on Tuesday nights. It is not necessarily first-time DMs, but it's people who have never streamed as a GM before. Our very first night, I don't want to give away too much, our very first night is going to be a live game test. The system has only ever been played once before by a small group of friends, and we are going to play test that sucker live on February the 2nd in front of everybody. And then a week later, we're going to do something that is very, very different, but I'm saving that because Cryptic works as an advertising system. Yes, DMing is so much fun, chat. You absolutely right. But that's all of us. That's this channel and everybody else's. So we've got we've got, now you're all paid because I can't pay you in cash, so I just do it shameless self-promotion. So now let's play a little bit of timely intervention. The four of you in your own places, never met each other before, in a time roughly 20, 30 years in our future. So not unsimilar to our own, but slightly more technologically advanced. The four of you have responded to an ad that you saw on a message board for whatever reason. This is a very safe world now. And just to be clear, we're in Vancouver. So west coast of North America, it rains all the time. It's beautiful. That's where this is set. But for various reasons, in this very safe, very round-cornered, very padded world, the four of you need more. You need some excitement. So when you saw the ad promising adventure, new places, new experiences, and almost certain death, you responded. I would like, at the very, very start here, before we even do anything else, each of you in Roll20, roll me a d20. I want to see who shows up first. Let's really randomize this. Well, we know who's last. All right, so that works for me. Edward Schnee, you arrive first. This is an older building. It looks like it used to be a warehouse, but maybe it's been partitioned off into offices in some way to make it more productive. But it still doesn't look like it's very well off by any stretch. The door isn't locked, but there's no name on it. You open it up and look in. And in this room is, it's almost empty, and it's slightly dusty. But there are 4 of those horrible plastic lawn chairs, you know, the ones that stack together. and if you move the wrong way, their legs fold up. There's 4 of those sitting in a row. And in front of it, there's a small black box about a meter on a side. In the corner, there's the packing material for that box. So there's a large cardboard box and some form-fitting foam pieces and the plastic bag. You look over and you're the kind of person who would notice this sort of thing. The receipt is still stuck to the box.
Okay. Just quite curious about, anything going on in the room. I'll kind of go and look over the box and see what the receipt says.
It says hologram projector Mark 2000, and it looks like it was purchased on sale.
All right. Quite curious about how this is going to factor in everything, but kind of go, and if no one's around, I'll... Hello? Is anyone there?
As you say that, the door behind you opens, and in walks, you wouldn't know their name, in walks Asher. When Edward turns to the door, what does he see as Asher walks in?
Asher doesn't walk in, he throws the door open. He goes, hello, I'm here for an adventure. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fun. Who are you? I'm Asher Pond. What have you found there? What do we got? Those are uncomfortable chairs. And he sits down in one and he moves around. He's like, just as uncomfortable as I remember the last time I sat in one. Who are you?
Edward Schnee. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
What was your name again? I'm sorry.
Asher Pond. Sorry, I speak a little quickly when I'm excited, and this is going to be a really good time. Edward Schnee. Edward Schnee. That's a great name. What do you got in your hand there?
Oh, this receipt appears to be for this thing right here.
Good to keep receipts when you buy something. Can I see it? Can I take a look?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
Did you buy this thing?
No, I found it right there in the box.
It is from a local
Box.
store. This was purchased like a physical bricks and mortar store. This was not ordered online.
I think I've passed that store. And
Yeah, you
picks
know
up
where
the
it
box.
is.
Yeah, should we shake it? What do you think, Edward?
I think I'm going to hold off on that.
Let's
All
have our
right, okay.
first roll of the night. Give me a body roll as you try and pick this thing up. You grab it and go to lift, and it's much heavier than you thought. So our first roll goes to Asher. A body
Okay,
roll.
this would be
What they're going to do is
strength.
roll, a number of dice equal to their, your power, not body, your power.
Yeah.
So one of the 2 physical stats are grace and power. The 2 mental stats are intuition and reason. And then the 2 defense stats are body and mind. So give me a power roll as you try and lift this box when you suddenly realize it's much heavier than you thought it was.
What's the target for?
The target for this it's only a 4. It's not that heavy.
Oh, okay.
So yes, roll invert. This is target number 4. 2 successes.
Oh,
Yeah, you kind of,
there we go.
and then just readjust your feet and you do pick it up. Shaking it would involve some grunting. It's quite heavy. Yeah.
I don't know why I picked this up. It felt like a really good idea at the time, but I think I'm going to put it back down.
And as
Hey,
you
puts it
bend
back
over, the door opens again, and in this case, Benjamin walks in. So you guys turn to look. What do they see when Benjamin walks in the door?
They see sort of a little over average height, but definitely, to put it gently, has definitely skipped leg day and has only gone to arm day.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you kind of look around, so definitely wearing kind of like leather pants that has about 3-pound smithing mallet on it.
Would it be fair to say
probably
he
more like 5
is?
pound,
Yeah. Would it be fair to say he is dressed in an archaic manner?
but
I didn't mention the
they're
first 2
from
because
around-
they're pretty
definitely.
they're very spiffy, but they're
Okay,
sort of
no, he
modern
has,
spiffy, right?
I think it was like kind of a sleeveless. I want to say comfortable, so you can definitely move your upper body in kind of leather pants.
Yeah. that
So
makes
definitely
sense.
not
I
from the
forgot.
city.
I forgot.
Probably looking at
you
Europe
can't
boards.
see. You can't see. I've got the image in Twitch, but it's not in Zoom, so you can't see. But I used your minute, so
Yeah.
I made you describe something you made a week ago.
I mean, at least describing it to the people here.
Yeah. So you
Fair enough,
step
they put
in
you up
and just to look at this bow-tied personage whose lips are still moving as he goes to put the box down, and beside him this well-dressed, dapper person. 4 crappy
Whoa.
chairs and a box.
You're really strong. Hello.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm gonna throw my back up. Doing all right. How are you?
Doing well myself. Just making sure I got the right building. Train was a little
Here
bit
for an
later than I
adventure?
thought it was going to be.
A train.
Probably.
Novel.
I mean, I responded to the advertisement, so it's hard to tell what I'm cutting into.
And
Well, we
the
found
final
a box.
the final entry appears at this time. I'm going to ask you a question I didn't ask any of the others. Are you coming in through the door or the window? I just
I am coming through the door, but
Okay.
I'm not going to burst through. It's going to be very slow, hands on the edge of the door, peek through, and see if I'm safe in here before I come through.
I knew it was going to be an entrance. I just didn't know what kind of entrance it was going to be. So,
Not any
Dear head-
windows today, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen, love.
so as you peek in, again, the viewers can see your mini, and also for those that can't see the little tiny one, there's a bigger version sitting here talking. So, but yes, so you're the 4th person that peeks in. As your head peeks in the window, that box that you just put down starts a reddish gold dome starts to lift out of it. And you're aware, I mean, you read the receipt. It says hologram projector, right? Interrupt me at any time. That's the rules at my tables. I talk. You interrupt. That's my job.
I think something's coming out of here, and there's a new person coming through. Hello. Let's watch out for whatever this red thing is. Hey, Edward, look, there's a thing coming off the box. Oh my God.
What did you do? What did you
Sorry,
touch?
Edward?
I didn't
Yeah.
do anything. I picked it up. I put it down.
Well, you clearly did something. I mean, now it's looking. It's. What is this?
I don't know.
I have to
Maybe-
pause you,
I don't-
Kev.
Yep.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this the type of world where one could just draw a sword and it not be very strange, or is that going to draw a lot of
It'll be
attention?
very strange, I would think.
Here in this tiny room with 3 strangers, it would be awkward. I wouldn't do it in public. There's nothing wrong with it. This is a violent world. Like this is, like I said, it's a very safe world, but everybody's still loaded for bearer all the time. It's a very corporate world. So as long as you're in the nice parts of town, everything's good. And if you're not, yeah, you are absolutely armed to the teeth and ready to go. And this is not the nice part of town. So the short answer is draw away. Other than there are
Right.
3 strange people in this room that you've never met before.
All that considered, I don't draw the sword, but I do take my katana off of my back, and
got another
with
one.
the sheath still on it, I'm
Yeah.
going to poke whatever that is. The sheath is still on the sword, just poking it.
Yep, absolutely. So you reach forward with the tip of of your sword sheath, and it just goes right in. And it's a hologram. But what continues to rise up, you quickly looks at first like a skull, but it's made out of it's made out of rose gold, is what it looks like. But imagine as it continues to rise and you get more detail. Imagine the skull of a Roman statue, like that level of beauty, but completely hollow. So when you look in the eyes and you look in the mouth, you can see the empty inside, all done in rose gold and glowing ever so slightly. Lifts up with a very audible clunk. With the sword still
Asher.
sticking into it, comes to a stop.
Asher elbows Benjamin. Whoa, that was one good looking guy. I wonder if he's still alive. And then forgets he's wearing like tech glasses because it is 15 years or whatever it is in
Yep,
the future.
Absolutely.
And kind of taps him.
Google
and,
glasses finally work.
scans. Google glasses finally work. That's it. And I have a little neuro implant that
Yep.
like connects to the glasses. And so I'm scanning this thing. I'm like, that's
Oh.
some good technology. That's some pretty
Oh.
good tech.
Absolutely it is. And You're getting the present for that. You look at this thing. You hit analyze mode right on the glasses, and I'm sure it's not like this. That's just a shortcut for I'm using my glasses, right? Just like this is I'm
Exactly.
talking. Yeah. So you activate the glasses in full scan mode to see what this thing is. It tells you there's a printout that tells you the make and model of the projector, the fact that it's been modified so it cannot receive information from anything but one source. Without hacking it, you are not able to find out what that source is, but it is a very tight link to this box. You also, when you look up and see the skull, you see it as a wire form as well, but it's not polygons, it's milligons. Like, it is, the level of detail in the programming is spectacular, but
You're beautiful.
it's absolutely static,
Absolutely gorgeous.
and it is in no way rigged to move.
That's some gorgeous artistry someone made there. That's some nice tech. Look at that face.
Your sword goes in just below the eye and in through the cheek.
I pull it back, and I look over at Asher, who I don't know.
Nope,
and
you don't know any of these people.
say, what do you know about that tech? What did you just
I
find
know
out?
it's gorgeous, and that human it's built off is quite good looking itself as well. But I know that there's one receiver that can modify it, and that's it. That's all. It's got some quite good defenses on it there. I can't hack into it without a good. It's gonna take me at least 15 minutes to hack into that bad boy. That's some pretty modifications I'm seeing right there.
Unlike
Oh.
hacking things, what if we tried hacking it together?
Ooh, double hack?
Might be 7.5 minutes in, eh?
And you hear,
Maybe.
"Hello, thank you for answering the advertisement.
It
I
does.
appreciate your time." And nothing moves. It is absolutely static. But the voice comes out, like, no matter how, you're right up to it. It sounds like it feels like it's coming out of the mouth. You can almost feel it breathing, but the the head does not move in any way.
Asher would definitely I'm sticking my hand in there, just kind of moving it around inside the
Yep.
hologram. Like,
Yeah, and it's just, it's again, zero reaction because it's a static image. And you hear, "I understand that the four of you are looking for adventure.
Yes.
My employer is rich beyond imagining. There are countries with smaller national value than this person has. I tell you this not to brag, but only to state a fact, and to tell you that at those levels of wealth, the wealth itself becomes a means, not an end. It becomes important to these people, and I do know more than one of them, is information. I told you they have..."
Asher comes from a lot of money, so he's
Yep.
like thinking through and scanning through all the people he knows that are billionaires and multi-billionaires around the world. Well,
As if reading your mind, but definitely not reading your mind, it says, "You would not know these people. No one knows these people. However, a certain amount of money allows a certain amount of freedom. In other words, if you pay people enough, you can do anything. And by anything, I mean anything. 10 years and more trillions of dollars than you can imagine. And my employer has mastered the art of time travel. They themselves are I
That's
shall
not
prove
possible.
otherwise. I shall prove otherwise to you in about a matter of moments if you can let me continue. What my
All right.
employer wants to know more than anything else in the world is what really happened. The history that we read is, to quote my employer, full of shit. It is stories about stories about stories about stories. No one has original sources anymore. And it appears that besides the natural changes to history that happen when people miswrite and misquote and misunderstand, it appears someone is actively trying to rewrite history. And my employer wants to know who that is and why they're doing it. But first, my employer needs to know that you are competent. What do any of you know of Robin Hood?
I mean, there's always the stories that he took from the rich and gave it to the poor.
Indeed. And?
Wasn't there a king? There was a king.
And
Indeed.
a pretty lady. And a
Many
monk.
of the stories do include King John, King Richard, and that perhaps in some of the stories this Robin Hood is in fact a disgraced knight. But no one
Oh,
knows
this
for
is just
sure.
a children's fairy tale, though. That's not history. That's not real.
That is,
I saw the one with all the animals as characters.
that is definitely also a possibility, in which case your job simply becomes go, look, find out, and return. Were they a myth? Were they real? If they were real, who were they? Why did they do what they did?
This
Information.
sounds like a good time.
We can provide you with garments appropriate to the era. They are considerably tougher than the garments from that era. Please do not leave them there. They would cause rather a difficult time if they were to show up in the archaeological record. Which does bring us to the final point. It seems that you are all willing to do this, but I must insist that you leave nothing from here where you go, and bring nothing from where you go back here.
What happens if we do?
I like that one.
Depending on the results, you may not be asked on another mission. I'm not against, my employer is not against the taking of tokens, shall we say?
Souvenir.
Remembrances, souvenirs, yes. But they would be, shall we say, upset if, for example, the crown jewels were suddenly to disappear from history and appear in your pocket.
All right.
What about diseases?
One of you, at least, is thinking logically. The clothing are infested is probably the wrong word, but it is exactly what it is. Infested with a nanoparticle, which should protect you from anything and everything in that era, at least in the microbial level.
And us going back there wouldn't affect the indigenous populations?
It is... Suffice it to say that the Everett Wheeler version of history would suggest that if that were to happen, it would only happen to an alternate dimension and not to our own.
Wouldn't it create? I'm pretty sure that would create an alternate dimension. But sounds
Indeed.
fun. Sounds like an
one
adventure.
which was doomed to
Sounds
die.
good to me.
A self-pruning branch of history, one might say.
I don't know if I'm up for killing other dimensions, but creating dimensions, fixing dimensions, helping others, and finding this Mr. Robin Hood sounds fun to me.
I have to ask, if we're going to be wearing different clothing, what are we doing with the clothes that we have here? If I leave my weapons here, what weapons do I have to protect myself there?
The expectation is that you would be provided with clothing while leaving yours here. Safe lockboxes will be provided. Your weaponry, not really suitable to the era, but it would be your choices to take your own or to just, shall we say, scavenge once you arrive.
What about food rations?
It is expected that you would eat what you find there. Organic material other than humans does not travel well.
Are you sending us with currency of that time as well?
Gold, yes. Gold and silver will be provided.
Fantastic. Let's get going. Let's get this show on the road. It's going to be good. I don't need a weapon. Don't believe in him. I'll stay out of the way. Find other ways to fight.
Apparently no one's going to ask, but I'll tell you anyway. When you return, if you return, you will be given 15,000 credits each. I know I said dollars before. I should have said credits. It's universal credits in this world. 15,000 is enough to buy a nice car. So like probably $60,000-$70,000.
Well, I don't know about these folks, but I'm not really in it for the money, love.
Me
Edward just
neither,
kinda
but
looks down at his nice suit, and I kind of feel you there.
Perhaps it can be donated to charity, or perhaps the blacksmith might like a new set of clothes. Sorry, couldn't resist. Are there any further questions?
How does it work?
yeah, where's the time machine? That was the same question. Yeah.
We can
I'd like to
we
see
can
you
get
after
you
40 katanas.
Sorry, what was that? I missed that.
Blacksmith, you heard him. 40 katanas got me here.
I think he was talking about
I'm
your
good with one.
katanas there, Tholo.
I'm good with one. Thanks, though. I'll probably just take my Tonto. Although he said not to bring anything there, but then said that I could bring my weapons. So I'm a bit
I believe he
confused.
said don't leave anything there.
The rules coming back are a little vague too, to be fair.
I heard take stuff, just don't take the crown jewels, but anything else is fair. That's what I heard.
Perfect. Love it.
So, if you agree, simply back out the door you came. Next door on the left, you will find clothing hanging on hooks. Leave your gear there, and then through the door at the end of that room.
Wait, but I asked how it works. Like, are we going to like disintegrate into little molecular levels or something? Like,
You won't even know it's happened.
all right, on game.
So, you guys...
I want to know how this tech works, but I'm in. Let's do it. Are we getting undressed in front of each other? Because that's going to be friendship on a whole new level real fast. I don't even know this one's name yet. Come on, yeah, you got the pretty. Yeah, it's very pretty.
Booths are available. Let me just put it that way. You guys go out the door, down the road, and into the next door. You find it's booths. There are clothes hanging in each of them. We are talking tunics, breeches, tights, codpieces, knee-high boots. Yeah. Exactly. I know it's not historically accurate, and I don't care. Just like every Robin Hood movie you've ever seen, the crenellated sleeves and the waist, and yeah, the whole thing.
Asher starts undressing in the middle.
There is
No shame. Pulls the bow tie. Away we go.
there is no armor of any kind and no weapons here. Yes, they are the men in tights, or will be soon.
I'll go and grab, I'm assuming it's like in a bag, kind of like a dress shirt bag.
Yeah,
Grab
exactly.
my stuff, head to a booth and go get change.
Yeah.
As you kind of hear like
Before I
I don't
kinda do
remember
that,
things
there's-
being this tight. As it kind of gets sort of-
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So.
I'm
Before-
imagining still a hood.
Yep.
Do I still get a hood?
Oh yes, absolutely yes. Yep.
And leather.
There is a hood.
Brown leather.
Yeah, not armor leather, but yeah, it can be leather jerkin. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. I still say yes to everything. The break my game rules still apply. I want to say yes to everything you say. So-
Got a small little pouch too. I just stuff my little Tonto in there. For those of you who don't know what a Tonto is, it's like a miniature katana. It comes in a set of 3 swords. It's a very small one. It's just tucked in there.
What's the medium-sized one called? Katana,
Yeah.
Tanto, Wakizashi is the one in the middle.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, the short one-handed blade. Somebody worked in a knife and sword store for 8 years.
What do you
I
got,
did too
Benjamin?
for 3 months, but I was under the age of 18 and I got fired real quick when I got my thumb sliced.
Yeah,
Sounds
that'll
like
do it.
everybody's got tight clothes on. Benjamin, what did you find?
What, in his
Even
tight
tighter
clothes?
clothes. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
You think they're tight
Me
on you?
too.
Yeah.
Super tight.
So the four of you garb up, and yeah, it's not, I don't know if any of you are comfortable wearing tights. I certainly wouldn't be.
once.
And anyway, there is a door at the end of the
Not
room.
great.
When you open it, there's just another room. It's a little room, about 10 feet on a side, and on each side there's 4 more of those garbage lawn chairs. So there's 8 of them in here altogether.
Not a very fancy time ship, is it?
If you will take a seat, please.
Yeah, at least the one for 8.
Edward will kind of look around. He'll kind of walk over. As he walk over, he's kind of like throwing his leg out, trying to adjust himself. And
Yes. Yeah. Doing that wide step thing. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
he goes to sit down, takes a moment, gets back up, sits back down in a wider stance.
You all right there?
Oh, manspreading in tights is a show. That is.
Asher
With
has
that-
to admit, he kind of likes all the tight pants on everybody. Like, okay.
So you guys, yes, Benjamin.
Yes, I should start with the. So I guess I hear somebody who is Edward. I presume you. Do you go by anything else?
Ed's fine.
Do you have a last name of sorts?
Edward Schnee.
Which name? Name is Benjamin Schmiedemeister.
Schmidemeister.
We ask. The
You
names of
named
our
him.
I did, in fact. It's gonna take me like 12 weeks to figure it out.
Nice
And,
names. I like them. That's nice. That's good.
You a blacksmith?
I am, in fact.
That's not a profession many have these days.
No, it's from a small town over in Forgemont. So it's a pretty good trip. Probably haven't heard of it too much.
Can't say I have.
Yeah, not many do, other than those who come from Forgemont.
The transition is complete. You may exit.
Good advice. May I ask your name before we head off?
Oh, I am known as the narrator.
Yeah. Is there any particular names that we should use in this new time period? Timelines and such.
I have no specific suggestions, but having names when asked by the guards would be a very good idea.
Guards. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, what guards? That's what I want to know. I don't think we've learned your name yet. The one with the pretty hood and the nice little chin thing. What's your name?
My name's Solo.
Nice to meet you.
Oh,
That's a good name.
I'll probably
these
go
are
with
nice.
different names as I travel, though. I think that might be fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I think Asher works well with Robin Hood. Robin and Asher. Let's go see if she can
Asher.
find some.
Benjamin, Edward, narrator.
Solo. Let's go.
The door
There aren't any
awaits.
names that we're supposed to know, no? Okay, great. Fighting guards now. Here we go.
Asher runs to the door and flings it open because he has no cares in the world.
You can,
And,
yeah,
steps on out.
Tholo, you hear a digital intake of breath as though an explanation was about to happen, and then the door is flung open and you can see for yourself. This door opens in a field in the middle of a large field of wheat. In the near distance, a castle. And I mean like a fairy tale castle. Crenellations, banners flying from all of the towers. Music pours out of it. The gates wide open and beckoning. There's clearly a
good.
festival going on. As you
Asher
step
pulls
out
out
of
a piece of wheat and sticks it in his mouth and is like, "Come on, folks, it's safe and looking good."
As you step out of the door, grab that piece of wheat and turn around and look, you see nothing but field. You kind of bump. You can feel the door, but you cannot see it.
Very similarly to the last door, I put my hands out.
Yeah. This door
So
opens
all-
again against your hands,
All
and now
Asher
you
would
can.
see
Yeah,
is
you
like
just push back.
just blue teal hair coming through
Yeah.
and then disappearing again.
Through wheats. It's just the
Yep.
wheat door opening.
The door opens. Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Get out here. Our whole spaceship building thing disappears. How are we going to remember where this is? You should make some kind of marking.
Edward at
Hey,
that
Edward.
kind of look around for some stones and
Yep.
kind of grab some and place them.
Hey, Edward. English is probably a little different from where we come from.
Yeah, we're definitely not in Kansas anymore, that's for sure.
Kansas. Thought we were in Vancouver.
You never heard, never mind.
Speaking of which, there is
Different
something
movie.
very much like a deafening silence here. You guys are all from a city. You get used to that thrum of the pneumatic push of air as the trains pass through the underground and shudder the ground underneath your feet. The electric buses, the smells, the sounds, the lights. You realize now, standing in the middle of this field, you're almost understimulated. Like it's just all you can hear is a couple of birds and a bit of wind and this music drifting out of this castle in front of you. You see people going in and out on the main road, all dressed in their best. This is clearly a festival. Now that you've been out here for a couple seconds, it's hot. It is clearly you look and the sun is almost directly overhead. It is the middle of summer. You look around, the wheat around you is starting to yellow. It's actually starting to ripen.
My glasses aren't working here. I probably don't have a lot of modern tech around here.
Actually, you are wearing your glasses, but you're absolutely right. You have the only pair of glasses in 100 years in any direction. So,
I still wear them because I haven't thought of that
yeah,
yet.
yeah, exactly. All part of this. This is going to be like 10 to 12 weeks of going. Oh wow, right. So yeah, this is what we're here to explore.
Hey, funny. Go to the city to go back to the country.
Yeah,
Do we
you're
see
like,
any
oh
signs
yeah.
of life?
Yeah, there is. The castle itself is bustling, full of people coming in and out, the partying, the sounds from inside. Around you in the fields, you look. The field you're in, nobody's working that at the moment. Maybe that's why the narrator chose it for you. But there are people in surrounding fields with plows and oxen and doing farm stuff. Benjamin, you in particular recognize all of this. Like you said, you went to the city to get away from this, and now you're back. You know what's next to. The wind changes, the smell of the cow shit. Oh, okay, yeah, we're home. The rest of you catch the smell of nature as it drifts across the field towards you. But there's also the smell of roasting meat very closely followed along it, and all kinds of food and drink.
I think we should go to a party. Tholo, you asked if we could have food. She said to look for food. I know where the food is, and there's music over there. I vote party.
Okay.
I'm down for partying. I suppose we can find
Let's
this
go to a
Robin
party.
Name.
potentially.
Yeah.
Head towards the castle.
Hey, Sinead,
So you
we're
head
here for
towards the
something,
castle?
right?
What was that? Sorry?
Sinead, we're here for something, right?
Edward?
Edward?
We're here to find about, kind of looks around just to reassure that no one's too close. Robin Hood.
So, where do you think we should start?
Well,
you
the
think we should
castle
start
seems like
with-
a good place.
Would the castle be particularly open to us looking for information on such an individual?
I mean, we'll
The
find
people
out.
at the
won't
party
we?
would.
There's tons
Right.
of people
Guess
there.
so.
Look at all the people who can just sneak right in. And they got beef.
And
I can smell the
also,
beef.
your characters, for the sake of ease, your characters know about Robin Hood whatever the four of you currently know about Robin Hood. So use any
no,
of that
from what I
mythology
saw in
or
the
story
movie-
that you want. So yeah,
What I saw in the movie with the little animals, the Robin Hood, he loved to go and bait thing in the castle. He's like, oh, there's a party. And go and like shoot an arrow and use a distraction to steal some gold. I bet you if we go to the party, get some meat, talk to some people, go find the gold, we'll find the hood.
So
I'm
Asher, when you say
assuming
sneak
Asher's-
in,
Asher seems to me like one of them walking and talking people.
Okay.
So yeah.
Walking and talk. Let's go. Let's
Walking.
go.
Now here's the question for the other three. Do you go with Asher as he walks and talks directly down the road towards the castle?
No.
As Asher walks off, he mentioned gold, and
Yes.
Edward will kind of, or I'll go and kind of feel around for a second and see. Do I get a gold pouch?
You check, and yes, the clothing that you got here, each of you, if you check, you've got 15 gold and 30 silver. Which in this time, like a silver piece would have been somebody's pay for a week. So, like a guard's pay for a week.
Edward will take that gold pouch and stuff it down his tights. Extra
Absolutely.
insurance.
Yes, codpiece protection plan is how that is generally referred to. Yes, I had a D&D character that had a cod purse. It was, have you ever seen Blackadder, the season where they were in the time period with the ridiculous cod pieces? They actually existed, and one of the things that men actually did with them was use them as their purse, so their money would be in their cod piece. But of course, every time that person in my games got excited or aroused, there was a ding sound. Never mind. Redux. Yes, Thunder Escape. Thank
Like
you.
a little bell.
Yes, exactly. An
Epic.
excitement bell. Okay, so you. So having said that, Benjamin is staying back. Tholo, I think I heard you say you're going to try and sneak in.
Well, I was walking alongside Asher, and when Asher said, "We'll just sneak right in," as he's talking real bloody loudly, I'm like, place my hand on his shoulder. Hey, mate, we've got to be. If we're going to sneak in, you need to stop talking there.
All right. Should I try on your accent too? I'm not very
It's
good at them.
so
if we're gonna be
difficult not to
sneaky.
steal accents.
Maybe I should have an accent too, but I mean, sneak or sneak not. Look at all hundreds of people going in there, right?
From Tholo to YOLO.
Hey, you two, you coming?
I've been thinking, actually, I think I'm going to go see if I can find the Fletcher.
Okay, so
All
you're
right.
going to stay outside the castle because it's like castle, and then there's town, right? Because town doesn't get to go into castle. Castle is for the good people. Town is for peasants. So yeah. So you head towards town.
right.
That makes This is
Later.
why I have paper for notes. Asher is just through the gates, or are you sneaking?
Asher,
I'll follow Fellow's lead. I like sneak, but as best as Asher can, sneak.
Okay.
Not
So
very well.
you're sneaking now. There's one big gate. If you guys go for a wander around this castle and try and find some other way to get in, that is entirely possible, and you would be able to bypass guards if you found a way.
There are hundreds of people walking into a park,
The
right?
gates are wide open. There are guards standing
Yeah,
there. They're not
that's-
stopping anybody. It's festival day.
Solo, let's go. We don't need much sneaking, too much time wasting. Let's go walk among the people. No?
yeah, all right, fine.
Okay, so you guys just walking in.
That's-
Excellent. And
the way.
Edward.
Edward will see Asher and Tholo kind of go off on their own, and he sees Benjamin go in another direction, and I kind of go and turn and follow Benjamin to see where he's going.
All right. Perfect. There's a very famous saying, do not expect outcomes. And I love it because this is better than even I possibly could have planned. And yes, split the party. You know my rules, Thunder Escape.
Always.
Always split the party. So, with that, let's do the two in the castle first. I like this better. The two of you just bold as brass walk through the front gates. Nobody even blinks. Actually, maybe that's not true. Hang on a second. One die with a target number of 6. No, nobody notices your glasses.
I was
You-
ready to role play it.
Everybody,
You know this.
it'll happen. It's going to happen. But these guards are not paying attention, so they only rolled 1 die, and their target number was 6 because it's not like they're Elton John glasses, right? They don't have 2020 go away written on them. So, you guys get past that initial gate and into the festival itself. And it is exactly that. There are trestle tables with whole hogs cooked on them. An entire cow is rotating on a spit with horses turning the gearing to allow it to turn. That fire itself is 15 feet long, like 5 meters long, with this animal turning above it. You turn and look the other way, there's horse pulling, like tractor pulls, except that like you put two horses together and see who can, it's like tug of war for horses. That's going on. They're clearly betting on that. There's a whole row of little booths with trinkets and doodads and weapons that you can tell from here are garbage. They're basically like, I was at the summer festival souvenirs, right? That sort of thing.
I throw my arm around Tholo. It's a party here. Let's go. There's got a shop. Let's go get a. I've always wanted one of those legs, you know, they have those like, you know, medieval festivals. I just want to go grab
I'd
one
actually
of those.
go for some of that meat. That smell of that meat. I could go for that meat. Let's go get some meat.
Tholo, my friend, let's get some meat.
You guys, you head over there, and Tholo, you get there first, and everybody's just pulling out their dagger and just cutting off a chunk, and like on the end of the dagger, walking away and eating it.
I look around for a dagger that's loose, something that I can pick up and use my own.
You look around, and just off to the distance, slightly, there's somebody who's obviously had a little too much already. He's face down in the ditch, and passed out.
Oh, yeah.
And you just blink, dagger, and
Taking that.
because I'm assuming I asked your particular very specific blade is not out in public and visible, so yeah.
Oh no, that's a very once in a lifetime kind of, once in an adventure kind of time of weapons.
We don't eat with that.
No, we don't eat with that. No.
Asher, you arrive next. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like weapons. Asher reaches in and just like rips off a leg, and away we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just decided
to pay for this.
I just decided that there are, as soon as he said that, in my head there are now turkeys there as well. So you pulled the leg off of a turkey.
That's what I was looking for.
It's a medieval,
turkey
it's a full
leg.
medieval turkey, so it's this long.
Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
And as you bite into it, you feel an arm come down on you like a building falling on your shoulders. It's just, and you look up, and there is this gigantic human being. And he's got the back leg of the pig. And he's, you can see, I mean, his eyes are doing this. He is about to pass out. And he just reaches out and tries to clink his haunch against yours. Like he's toasting you with meat.
Oh, I love it. I clink right back, and then I kind of twist out from under there.
Yeah, you rotate away and have a big bite of what is now pork-flavored chicken. I'm not sure what to do with that.
Oh, so good.
He stumbles off the other way with his leg of cow. Or leg of pig, pardon me. As you spin out from under his arms, I love the way this works. You spin out from under his arms and see a section of this field or the inside of this castle that you hadn't seen before. It's kind of around the corner. It's there, you realize it's their tilt of the hat to safety. What is over there is clearly an archery competition. Which makes sense. I mean, you think about this. This is right in the midst and towards the end of the Crusades. Brief history lesson. There were knights that went over there, Kinnigates, as I like to call them, in the armor and the whole thing. But the vast majority of the armors were what were called yeomen. They were bowmen, is what we would call them now. They were the famous English longbowmen. They had better range and better piercing power than anything else on the planet. But they were the common people, and it wasn't done. It was in poor form, speaking war, like for these people to be killing off the equivalent of knights. So as soon as they were injured or their terms of service were up, they were just flung back into society to do what? Make their way for themselves. So they went there from heroes to just people again. But everybody is trained in a longbow. And you can see the butts at the far end are an outrageous distance away.
Talks to Tholo and it's like, Tholo, the secret name of Hood in that animal movie really like to shoot archery, and there's archery competition that way. Shall we go with our meat?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna look around to see if I'm supposed to pay for this meat. If it's just free.
Everybody else is just cutting the chunk and going.
Yeah, cut the
Alright.
chunk and walk. Let's go.
I'll take another chunk.
Yeah.
Now I'm heading off with 2 chunks on my dagger.
Asher likes how you think and
Congratulations.
grabs another
You-
massive turkey leg.
Okay. You're walking along with 2 turkey legs, and you
Oh, yeah.
just invented the kebab.
Oh,
Don't leave anything here except for inventions, no ideas.
Yeah, the
It's
person,
not called the
the
kebab
person
no
who,
more. It's called
the
the
person
tholo.
who's doing the cooking the meat grabs a quill and a piece of paper and says, "It's called a what? It's called a what?
Is
hello.
A tholo.
It's called
Tholo. I love it.
It's called the
Hello.
tholo.
it's called a tholo.
I wonder if you could do that with sticks of wood. And you see them turn around and start chopping this log into tiny slivers.
Yeah, but wood's not as good as metal, so those ones have got to be called bobs.
Kebab.
Bobs.
Kebab.
Kebabs.
Kebabs
Why
and
can't we-
tholos. Kebabs and tholos. You have as much as you want. Here. And he cuts another chunk with his dagger, and using his dagger puts it onto yours and pushes it down.
Oh yeah, you got any roasted veggies that go in between? That'd be really good.
What's a veggie?
Or
You look
like
around.
a pepper.
You look around and there's pastries, there's meat. There is not a green thing in sight.
Right. There's farmers over there. Like cucumbers. No?
A tomato.
No zucchinis.
Just one little tomato, you know?
We got those. Why would you eat that? We feed that to the pigs.
Oh, that's fair.
Makes the pigs
I
taste
often
like.
say that's my food's food. All right, fair enough. Then you gotta layer it with some pork and beef and turkey and chicken and pork and beef. Yeah.
And just writing down again as you're walking away.
And then top it off with a cherry, eh?
What?
All right. I'll pay you then. A little whipper. Right
Hey,
on
you can
there.
stick a little dessert on the top, and then you have
There
a
you
whole
go.
meal.
Whole
Yeah,
meal,
that
yeah.
Pie.
Oh,
A
meal.
pie.
Oh yeah.
So,
Tholo, when we get home, I want to see if we can order a Tholo somewhere. Let's see if that's stuck. That'd be great.
Freaking lootly. Yes, absolutely.
Hey,
you.
so off we go to the archery.
As you get closer to the archery, there are a number of people here getting ready, practicing, stretching their shoulders and muscles out. Most of them are sort of over 30 or wounded or really young, like 13, 14. It is at this point you kind of look around. There is a huge gap in the male population in England in general in this time. They're all off at the Crusades. Young and healthy, you're supposed to be off fighting the war. So as you look
Asher
around, you
doesn't
see
notice
these.
this. He's just checking out the
I
older
will
ones
put
and,
that
like,
out there. This is another thing I like to do
Yeah.
is you decide what your character saw out of that. I'll tell you what happened. You decide whether they saw it.
Asher got stuck on the flexing muscles of the over 30s. That's what. Asher
Yes.
got.
On that
Absolutely.
note, too, can I ask how old are the 4 of us? Or how old do we appear at least?
You tell me.
I know for me, I'm in the late 20s.
Okay.
35.
So yeah, you could potentially both of you could potentially be retired, so that works. Edward, from your art, you're not a spring chicken either, right?
Yeah, I'm about mid 40s, like
Okay.
our time. How that would equal out in that
Yeah,
time, not
so-
sure.
Yeah, old.
elder.
Definitely old enough to have been retired. So that brings us to Benjamin. Young, healthy, fit, except for them chicken legs.
Yeah,
You,
probably late 20s ish as far as like numbers is concerned, but definitely probably doesn't look it necessarily.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, nobody's drawn attention to it yet, but you know, those of you who choose to notice would notice that there is this gap in the time. Speaking of the over 30s, you're watching them flex over there, and there's one really old dude, like in this long robe with a hood up, and he kind of wobbles up to the thing, and he's got this bow. And I mean, you're not a bow expert, but you can tell when he draws, there's like, you can hear the tension that none of the other ones. And to be fair, a typical yeoman at this time could pull a 150-pound bow. Like that, like 150 pounds straight back like that. That takes years of training. And you've heard them firing. You know, creak, twang, creak. This one is just like he's just thrumming with the energy. He also doesn't draw to his eye. He draws down here and all the way back to the shoulder. And when he lets go, the bow just it's here and then it's just here. Like there's no visible snap. The arrow just disappears, and you hear thunk at the other end, and you look down at the butt, and the only thing sticking out is the feathers.
So I imagine Asher's glasses, they don't work, but the neurochip in his head would still be looking for any kind of signal. So how I'm imagining that would work is that potentially important people in the periphery, he'd get kind of a glow on them. Because even though there's not internet, he's still got this chip that's always looking for information. And so if that's okay, I think Asher would be like, whoa, because he's never seen this before.
I got a counter for you.
Yeah.
You go to the glasses. Go to the glasses. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's no connection. But you recognize that shape. In the movie, there's an old dude in a robe. An old fox, in fact, if I remember correctly, in a robe. Who does pretty much exactly this thing. I changed his shtick. The one in the movie shoots one and then shoots another one through the first one.
Yeah. Solo. I think that one's the hood. The old guy. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
I'm not even gonna pay attention to that for a moment. I feel like I saw that happen, and I've got a little bit of a competitive thing going on here. I'm not very good, I don't think, at archery, or maybe I am, but I know I'm good with throwing daggers, and I've just finished eating the last of this meat. And I'm just gonna throw it and see if I can make it land right on that arrow. Just
throw the
right
greasy
there.
dagger. Absolutely. Give it a fling. This is, I think we decided, it's range weapon. So that is Grace. Roll Grace for me, please.
Do I have a target number?
We'll call this an attack.
Okay.
And then we'll see what you roll.
Do I get any sort of advantage for the fact that I do this? This is something I do.
Roll the die first and then we'll see. We'll see if we need it. 3 and a 4. Go ahead and roll again. We'll give you an advantage on this one. Normally you wouldn't. Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
It is a ridiculous distance down there. I mean, for a bow, it's a ridiculous distance. For a dagger, it shouldn't be possible. But pride does wonderful things, and so does. It turns out turkey, beef, and chicken all together. Very inspiring.
Makes it fly.
It makes it really. It's the grease. It's the grease. It makes it very aerodynamic, and you just lean back and heave this dagger. It does not, as you hoped, split the feathers, but it hits like on the 8 ring out of 10.
So I immediately look over to the hooded figure and see if he noticed.
And his head just comes around real slow to look over at you. And it's what you see as it comes around. You notice the person inside is much younger than they're acting, and there's just this huge grin on their face, little waxed mustache peeking out from underneath there, and looks over at you and just grins.
That's the hood. Also, that was wicked cool.
Right. So I winked at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever he does next, if he leaves, I'm following him. If he's staying and playing, I'm staying and playing. I'm locked eyes on him.
He looks at you and grins and says, I guess some of us don't need a bow, do we? I'll pay your registration to see you do that to some of these fools.
I'd love to try it again. I'd also love to learn archery. I mean, I've shot a bow or two here and there, but maybe you could give me some tips. You're obviously very good.
Here, try this one. And he hands you his bow. You can
10-pound
feel
one?
the wood is just with the tension on it. Are you going to try and draw it?
Mate, this is
a
next
grinning
level.
at you.
You got something a little lighter than this, maybe, for a first timer.
He takes his back and he says, well, we've got the ones for the children over there. Or you could just do that trick with the daggers again.
Oh no, I'm not getting no children's one. No, let's give this one a try then.
Give me a power check to see if you can draw this bow. No advantage
Asher's
on
just
this.
watching with
Yeah.
and vibrating with energy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is this attack again, or is there a target number?
This one, give me, because you're just trying to draw. Give me a target number, but the target number is 6, so it's the same as an attack, basically, as far as difficulty goes. Tholo spelled backwards is Robin Hood. Thank you, chat. Yeah, you. Like you could bust a sweat if you want to. You are not drawing this bow. And he just laughs and takes it back, and he says, "I've only met 2 others that could," and without even looking, straight sideways down there, and punk right into the other one.
Hot.
And I look over at Asher and I go, "Yeah, it's him."
That's our buddy.
I would like to
Hello,
invite
sir.
the 2 of you onto a little bit of fun with me. We're going to do this until they figure out who I am, and then we're going to run like hell. Does it sound like fun?
I love it. I can't wait
Sounds
to
like
be a married
great
man.
time.
Oh, I do get bored on Sunday after church. And he just goes back to practicing. And he's now you realize what he's doing. He is trying to draw attention to himself. He's trying to make it blatantly obvious that he is Robin Hood. And he's trying to trigger something. As you guys
So Asher
figure that out.
notices this and is like, "Solo, first of our daggers. We can have some attention. I'll flash my glasses a bit. Let's go."
So you start practicing with your daggers. There's almost immediately a page shows up and runs and gets your daggers every time you throw them.
Cool.
So I guess technically you also just invented the bowling ball return system.
Boy,
For
he
the
sounds
golf
like a-
boys.
The
Or
golf-
this guy.
The little
tennis boys.
caddies.
The caddy. So meanwhile, as you guys get to that point and figure that out, outside the castle, the 2 of you, Benjamin and Edward, head towards town, and you're very quickly there. You said you were looking for the blacksmith?
Fletcher specifically.
Fletcher.
But I
okay.
don't know if they'd be the same in this particular town.
They're going to be in the same area, like this sort of that. Typically on the outskirts, because it's loud and sometimes it stinks and stuff like that. So the leather makers and all of that are out there. And as you get up to this part of the building, yes, or this part of the town, yes, there's Fletcher. There's a blacksmith. You can hear him banging away over there. Not very good. Kind of technique's not very solid. Using a little 4-pound hammer. It's like, maybe when he grows up. Anyway, the Fletcher is there. Yes. What would you like to say? And again, Edward, cut in at any time. So.
Specifically, I'm trying to see if anybody's asked for any specific, very unusual arrows. So, a different kind of wood than would normally be used, possibly a different metal.
Absolutely.
The feathers are probably about the same.
So you ask him, and he looks at you and he says, "Well, you mean like red feathers or something?"
Yeah, something like that.
Well, Will, he was just here, he was. I just did 24 for him.
24. Specifically red feathers. Do you know about what he looked like?
Little fella, right, quite slight and thin he was. All dressed in red from head to foot. You must have heard of him. Will Scarlet?
Well, Scarlet. Okay. No, unfortunately, I heard there was a festival and kind of came through. I've kind of heard of it on my way going from one place to another.
Yeah, there is an hell of a festival in there, yes. I believe Will had some plans for it. You're not for the sheriff, are you? You don't look like a sheriff's man.
No, I'm neither here nor there. I'm just kind of around.
As
Right.
Ben's conversing with this guy, I'm going to take a look around and how does the town look like as we've been walking around and just the general area around the Fletcher shop?
This immediate region it's got that look of desperately trying to just pretend nothing's happening right there. These are the people that are not invited, right? These are the peasants. They're not going to the summer festival. They're not going in the castle. So they're just trying to pretend it's not happening for the most part. They don't appear to be overly tense But was there specific information you were looking for?
Do they look like they're really downtrodden?
Good choice of words. Yes. Yes, they do. They are, you can smell that, all that meat and wonderful stuff coming out of the castle. These people are eating carrots, their potato soup, porridge.
Okay.
Where it all went for the kebabs, eh?
They got no kebabs, not a one. Your knife is the best smelling thing. If you came out here, your knife would be the best smelling thing in this neighborhood. But while you're looking around, thank you once again, I love it. This is cooperative storytelling at its best. You see two very striking figures. One of them has got to be close to 7 feet tall. And it's at this point that you realize even you're tall here, even though you're, a fairly slight human being. You're tall here. The average height's about 5'6" maybe. This guy's 7 feet tall. He's got to be 400 pounds. He would be called a giant. He is a massive human being. His clothes are just like cut into rough shape and stitched roughly together. He's almost like wearing burlap. He's just this huge behemoth. And then beside him, and he only looks small in comparison, is a round man wearing a dark brown robe with a little belt, little white woven belt. You can see his tonsure, the back of his head is shaved. And the two of them are sneaking out of the town and down the side of the castle.
Okay. He'll kind of, I'll nudge Benjamin. Hey, what do you think of that?
I think we might have found ourselves a lead if we may want to attempt to follow to what we can.
The Fletcher kind of leans around the corner and says, "Oh, them two are trouble too, eh?"
What kind of trouble do you usually get into, sir?
The kind that's great fun to watch as long as you don't like the sheriff and company.
Well, we're a little bit from out of town, so may as well see what they get up to at least once.
Oh, it'll be great fun, sir. I just wouldn't get in front of them.
Yeah.
Thanks for the warning. What was
Thank you,
your
sir.
My name's Harold, sir.
Harold? And I'll go and reach down my tights and pull out a silver, and I'll flick it at him.
Well, I were a bit worried for a moment there, sir. Most folks don't keep their money there. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
It's a lot harder to steal this way.
Well, I imagine it is, sir. I imagine it is. It's nice and warm, too, sir. Thank you. And he puts it in his pouch.
This way I know either people are trying to steal with me, or steal from me, or give me a good time, so.
You've got a right strange idea of a good time, sir, but you have a good day, right?
Thank you for your help, sir.
So the two of you follow the two behemoths around the corner?
Yeah.
And as
we'll kind of, Edward will try to do it a little bit so they're not noticed that they're trailing these two.
These are the two worst sneakers in the history of sneaking. Like, these are huge human beings, absolutely identifiable human beings, and they're going along the wall like you've probably drunk, what you might suggest. So you guys start to follow. Are you going to try and sneak follow? You said you're going to try and sneak follow them. So give me a grace check, please. This is why I only have 4 stats. Everything is one of these 4 stats until I'm told otherwise. 1 and Benjamin sneaking, or you see Edward sort of. I mean, you're not like dun 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 dun, just sort of on the other side of a tent, or keeping a cow or an ox between you and them, sort of thing.
I'm kind of following Edward, definitely from a little bit more of a distance.
Okay, so you're a little further back. So yeah, give me
Further back. Target.
give me target, because you're a little further back. Let's do a target of 3. We can't go less than 3.
That is a 3.
So yeah, again, you stay sort of out of the way. Okay, so you've got the X in that category. So yes. -1 for the X. Absolutely. So the two of you move along and watch this. As you go around the corner and see these two sort of stop sneaking there, look up the wall, and a rope slithers down the wall from above. And you kind of look up, and at the top of the rope, tying it around one of those crenellations, is Will Scarlet. Bright red hat with the bright red feather in it. He's tying up this spindly little dude, tying up this knot, and then he just pulls it tight and just leans over the edge and gives a double thumbs up and then tilts back. And these two monstrosities start to climb the rope.
Well, I definitely think we found our boy.
Yeah. So I guess at this point we want in.
Let's go.
Absolutely. And in this world,
Okay.
you do not have to roll to climb ropes. You guys just, it's the Batman thing up the wall, right? I mean, this is it would be the worst kind of narrative suicide to make you guys roll, because if somebody fails, we'll be here all afternoon with you guys trying to climb the bloody rope. So one at a time, vip up the rope. You guys get to the top, flip over onto the parapet just in time to see the three of them dropping down the other side into a part of the castle that seems like it's not designed for public use. It's sort of where the stables and the guardhouse and that sort of thing are. But that area appears to be mostly empty. It seems like most of those people are probably out at the party.
Taking a look around.
How do you think they're leaving?
In the stables? Is there any like stable hand clothing or like loose camps, like
Absolutely.
linen bags?
Yep, absolutely. Both.
I'll kind of go and take some stable clothing and just put it on over my stuff to try to blend in.
Absolutely. Benjamin? Same thing? The two of you...
I think I'll. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think I'll follow what Edward's doing. I'm also kind of thinking whether or not the rope is how they plan on leaving.
It's still there. They left it there, so maybe it's quite possible.
If they left it there, so they might be using it to scale down.
Yeah. So you guys drop in behind them and start to move through this. It's easier to hide here. I don't need rolls here because this is, like I said, this isn't the public part of the castle, so it's all efficient use of space. In other words, there's no room, so it's easy to hide. You guys follow them for a very short period of time, and you kind of peek around one corner and you see the three of them standing at a large, heavily bolted door. And next to the door are two guards who appear to be knocked out. Not dead, but knocked out. And you see the two big guys just kind of rubbing their hands.
Ah, that's what they're
This
for.
appears to be the jail cells.
Oh,
Back at the archery butts, the competition is beginning. The announcement rings out, the town crier appears, hear ye, and now the greatest archery show on earth shall commence. The Sheriff of Nottingham and his great and glorious favor has allowed a prize of 1 chicken for the winner of the competition. Please step forth for your first shots. So who is actually competing for the chicken? I just decided that. I didn't know what I was going to say until I started the sentence. I really didn't. It's a very nice chicken.
In the time that this has gone on, I've been looking around for a bow that's not a children's bow, but it's not Heckin Hood's bow there.
Yes, absolutely. You can absolutely. You kind of walk around, kind of test that one, test that. Oh, that I can draw that one. We're good here. So yeah, absolutely. You find a bow that you could use.
Sure. And I've
so
been
you'll be part
I've been
of-
really watching his skill and his technique. And yeah, sure. I'll compete. I'll just give it a try.
Right, Asher. What are you doing?
I'm trying to flirt with Robin Hood. So I'm like, where'd you learn where'd you learn how to shoot a bow like that? And where'd you get those pants? How'd you get into those pants?
And the more you flirt, the more he flirts back. Well, actually, these aren't even my tights. You should see. This is part of a disguise. Look, and you just aren't they wonderful legs? Aren't they? Years of running around in the forest will do wonders for your thighs.
They're
And he
great
just-
legs, I gotta say, yeah.
He's just gonna have this conversation with you. Yeah, absolutely. You're actually distracting him slightly. I'm gonna give you that. So-
Sounds good to me.
First round of fire, the regular yeomen all fire, sort of 7s to 9s, really good shots, a little bit of nerves showing. Robin looks at you, Tholo, and says, visitors first. And then turns back
Oh.
and does the disarming smile at Asher.
See, I thought you were going to teach me a little something more here. Like, trying to learn from you, mate.
Oh, very well then. And without taking his eyes off of Asher's, again, and then boom, right dead center, buried nothing but the feathers.
Just got
Just do that.
hotter here. Just got hotter.
Since he's trying to get attention, I'm going to just make a big deal of it. Look
Yes.
at that! Did you see that? Like, give him a round of applause.
Oh,
And then,
right.
just to
I'll be back.
follow him
And he
up.
turns away from you, Asher, right? And starts, being
Where you
really
going?
obvious. All of a sudden, he's standing taller. The disguise is riding up, so you can see the green tights underneath now. The boots, yeah. All of a sudden, people are like, "Oh!" Even the drunks are going, "Well, I know who that is by now." Everybody knows, but the guards at this point.
Asher's fake bowing and also joining
Tholo.
in, doing the whole follow.
Tholo, because you went around and picked a bow, and because I like people to succeed, I don't remember your character sheet, but I'm suspecting that, given what you rolled earlier for power, that Grace is the better of your physical stats.
I've got them at even.
Oh, okay. In that case, it doesn't matter. Roll me a power to try and shoot this arrow.
This attack?
Yeah, just an attack. You're attacking the. If you succeed, you'll get the actual. If you'd hit a 6, you would have hit the target somewhere. But given your level of skill, that's all I was going to give you anyway. But you pull back and it starts to shake. You get like a speed wobble going, and you just let go. It misses horribly, but effectively, because it hits the prize chicken. And with a squirp, the chicken falls down dead beside the butts in the cage.
I look over at my friends Asher and Hood, and I'm just like, give me an applause. I meant to do that. So
And a round of applause
Asher's dying
roars
laughing.
up,
Yeah.
and you're clapping, and everybody. Robin Hood is just like he's face palming himself. At exactly that moment, the other two of you see Little John just reaches out and grabs the bars in the window and just pulls the door off of the hinges. The rock where the hinge is nailed into just rips and shatters. And he just drops it to the side like it weighs nothing. And you hear, "Come on, lads." The two of you are hiding, watching this happen. What do you do?
And how many people are kind of coming out?
You kind of look down, you sort of bend over and look in. All you can see is sort of legs coming. There's at least 10 or 20 of them. They have ripped the doors off. This is a pub, like a single room jail, and they've just ripped the doors off. So everybody that's in there is now free.
Okay. Well, I'll wait a second to see where they're going to go.
Okay. Benjamin, what are you doing?
I'm seeing if the 7-foot people are following or going deeper.
They, the two of them sort of step back and start waving these people out. And as they start to come out, he's waving them like to the left, and he's sending them towards the main area. And you kind of look from here. It's not a big distance to the front gate, and most of that they're going to kind of be behind this in this section of the castle that's not public. So they're only going to get seen for about 15 or 20 feet. But because you were looking, John and Tuck don't do that. They turn around and come back towards the stables, where there are 2 Percheron horses with saddles. These are not saddle horses normally. Like Percherons are for pulling they're like Clydesdales, or like for pulling the Budweiser cart. They're that big, but they've got obvious custom saddles on them. This is all part of the escape plan. And as the two of them get there and reach up for the bridles of these huge horses, Will Scarlet comes around the corner on a smaller sort of normal size horse and rears up and back. And just, you see, as he does it, he's not using his hands on the reins, and he draws an arrow and fires it into the door that John has dropped, so that there's this red fletched arrow in the door.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to tell Edward we should probably go back to the rope.
Yeah, I can kind of see that going.
So I'm making my way out.
The two of you head back to the rope. Just as you do, you see John and Tuck jump on these huge horses, and they start to leave the same way as the others are, and in the process, they're just scattering these criminals. They're knocking over as many as they're saving as they start to leave, and they're hooting and hollering, and Will Scarlet's starting to draw his bow to shoot at guards. That happens as you guys turn and step back towards the rope.
I am going to kind of look to Ben, and it's like, do you think we should try to find the others now?
They shouldn't be too hard to find, but there's definitely be a ruckus. And I think they went up to the castle area. So finding
it's
out
only a couple steps
idea.
to kind of. It's only a couple steps to just sort of step forward, look where these guys just went, and look out into the public area of the castle.
Well, Benjamin I'm sorry. I am going to go and kind of look at Benjamin. It's like, well, if you don't want to go and find the other ones, maybe we should take a look at the party then.
Yeah, I think especially because we're at a higher area, you should probably get an idea what's going on.
Okay.
From our particular viewpoint.
So you're going to sort of climb back up on top of these buildings and look down into the common area?
Sure.
Makes perfect sense. So
Yeah.
you quickly, I mean, you're fit. You just bounce up onto the ceilings or onto the roofs of these places and kind of up to the peak and look over. And what you see is mayhem. And this happens at this moment as you peek over. This is the same moment that the other two who were at this archery competition notice this craziness start to happen over there on the other side of the castle. You look, there are half-naked men in shackles and chains running towards the gates. Two gigantic human beings on horses laughing and howling and knocking people aside. A crazed man all dressed in red firing arrows at guards and giggling to himself. You turn around and you hear behind you Robin says, "Oh, it's on!" And you see him just start as faster than you can imagine. He's starting to draw and shoot. And he's just, every shot is knocking down a guard. Just bang, bang, bang. And he looks at you and says, "Now might be a good time to run." And
I'm running after you. Where you go, I'll follow. Let's go.
He drops the cloak and he said to you to run. He does not. He turns and heads right towards the center of the castle, just drawing and shooting as he goes.
Asher, there's no hesitation. Just running after Robin Hood.
Running after
Having
him?
a time of his
Solo.
life. Yeah.
Solo, what are you doing?
I'm going to join the merry men. I'm leaving Asher.
Okay, so you
You're
run off
leaving.
after Tuck and John? Absolutely. The two of you on the roof, what are you doing?
Do we hear with him doing this? Is there a lot of screaming going on?
Oh yeah, the place is coming apart now. The drunks just showed up at the picnic, right? It's that moment. Right? The bikers just showed up at the barbecue. It's that moment.
I'm running in that direction.
Okay, so you're down off the roof and back onto the ground because you guys are up on
Yeah.
the roofs, right? Okay.
Yep.
Benjamin. So you got.
I'm gonna get down, but yep. I'm gonna see if I can kind of keep an eye on the horses as they are leaving. If they're trying to leave town in a direction or what they're doing.
They are. They're heading towards the gates, just knocking heads as they go. But as you see them get to the gates and step out, and they really put the spurs to these huge horses, they're heading right towards a nearby forest.
Okay, horses in a forest.
A Sherwoody kind of a forest, one might even say. And Robin.
So I'll
at
probably
this
wait
point,
kind of near the front of the town.
So yeah, you get to sort of the gates and see what's going on. The two of you that are with Robin, the town is just emptying. And Edward, as you drop off the roof to the ground, again, you drop now into what is basically an empty town square. All the people have just fled. And you guys hit the ground, and Robin is now shooting them off the top of the parapets as he just turns and bang, bang, bang. You look around, there's probably 25 or 30 dead guards by this point.
Asher's making comments the whole way, like a commentary for a hockey game. Like, oh, that's a nice one. You hit that one over there, and that one right in the eye, and that one right between the eyes. Oh, look at your muscles, Flex. You got really nice muscles. Like, like, we gotta hang out a little bit more. Just like commenting on where and how we sit and all of them.
Tholo, what are you doing?
I imagine as Edward came down, he like landed right beside me, and I did a double take of, oh, I know this person, and I grab him by the arm, and I'm running toward the merry men with him.
Absolutely. So you're heading out of the gates. With that, so 3 of you are heading for the gate, or basically at or on their way out of the gates. Asher, Robin reaches up again. You see his hand go. The quiver's empty, and he turns around. He turns around and he grabs you in one motion, just around the back of the neck, and just pulls you in and plants one on you. The full dip,
yes, please.
like the end, like just the hand in the small of the back, the end of the dance dip, full plant
Take
kiss.
my breath away, Robin.
Spins back up, grabs your hand, and says, "Come with me. Do you mind if I call you Marion?"
Not at all. Call me what you want. Let's go.
Out the doors. The 4 of you and Robin Hood on foot, the others on horse ahead of you, almost driving this herd of criminals ahead of them. Behind you, you look behind and you can see coming now out of the gates, out of all of the gates and out of the towers, all the guards of Nottingham, all but tripping over each other in a Keystone Cops-like fashion, because you've seen the movie. But there is definitely a chase on. Robin on foot is pulling away from you guys. He's got great legs.
Yes, he does.
You, Asher, Miriam Pond, are being dragged along in his wake.
Not
just
going anywhere.
Gone. The rest of you are slowly being left behind by this. What do you do?
I'm gonna try and jump on the back of a horse.
Absolutely, that works. Yeah, give me a grace check.
Target number?
It's only a horse. 4. Yeah. It's not graceful. You kind of grab the reins and it's just boom, and then it sort of, as you're going, you're kind of climbing up as you're already running. Yeah. Benjamin.
I am going to take the shortest route to the forest just to kind of lose at least the guards.
Absolutely. So
if I lose people, I can follow the wake later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And Edward.
I am going to reach into my tights, pull out the gold thing because it's really messing up my running stat. And I'm going to go and just throw the gold into the path of the guards. See if maybe repay will slow some of them down.
That is assuming we use standard D&D conversion. That's 150, 180, 180 weeks of pay you just threw on the ground. Absolutely.
That's a good one.
So at the second you do that and everybody is just tearing ass into the forest, you turn and look, and I mean, the first couple there are all but falling off of their horses, trying to get off them before they even stop to get to the ground. There is I was going to say a dog pile, but I feel like that's saying bad things about dogs. There is a people pile going for this money like it's the only money in the world. There's bits of armor and bits of baldric coming off. They are scrapping hard over this gold.
Could we say that one of them falling off their horse, the horse continues on, and as the horse goes by, I try to jump on it?
Absolutely you do, yes. In fact, anybody that wants a horse at this point can have one. Benjamin, if you want one. Miriam, it's not really Lady Miriam, if I may. It is not your option. A horse runs past, and Robin just pulls himself up onto it one-armed and pulls you up in front of him, arms around you, grabs the reins, squeezes with his elbows, and pulls himself in right close and heads off into the trees with you.
Hold on as tight as you want, Robin. Take my breath away. Let's go.
Okay. So if I were to try to grab a horse in the mayhem, what would you like me to, or is it just
give me a grace
horse
check?
If you want it?
You're going to get one. I just want to see how well you do. So give me a grace check versus a target number 3. It doesn't even matter if you fail. It's just going to be ugly if you do. We're getting to that point in the night where everything works.
No, so that's a 4.
Absolutely, that works. That is, in fact, a 4. You grab a horse on the way by, spin yourself up onto it. It's just like pure power. Like the horse tries to run by you, and you just kind of curl him back, like, no, and then climb on, and then let him run, right?
Yep.
With this, the 4 of you and Robin and the merry men charge off into Sherwood Forest. The forest closes around you as you go, and the further you go, the slower the horses get. And finally, you get to this huge clearing surrounding this massive oak tree. And you can see tents and everything set up around it. And as everyone gets off their horses and starts congratulating themselves.
I got off the horse and go, now that was an adventure, and plant one on Robin. Just big,
And
huge kiss.
Then he plants one back to much wooing from the merry persons, because they're not all merry men here. This is as varied a group of people as you've ever seen in this camp. But as you're getting used to that and seeing the fire, and now here the food is simpler. It's rabbits. It's berries.
Let me ask you quick. Does the same gender, but age divide that we saw last time continue to occur?
Yes. Thank you for asking. Almost everyone here is over 30, and most of them are injured. A number of them are missing those 2 fingers. Which means, for those that aren't history nerds like me, they were English bowmen caught by the French or by the anybody that they fought, and what they used to do to bowmen was cut off those 2 fingers so they could never fire a bow again. You could still live, you could still go home and be a farmer, but you could never be an archer again. So there's a couple of those as well. But yes, there's no youth here. There's nobody sort of under 18. They're all adults, but yes, that sort of most of them are 30 and up, and or injured.
So I'm learning history. What did they do for both hands? So if you were ambidextrous or wanting to switch, or did they just do the one dominant hand? Do you know?
That brings up a really interesting, super nerdy bit of history. There were no left-handed bowmen. Everybody learned to fire a bow right-handed. Even if you were left-handed, you learned to fire it right-handed. So, yeah.
You're
Extra
the
nerdy
perfect
bit of history.
narrator for this game. Yeah, all
There's a
it's
reason.
great.
There's a reason that this is a time traveling game. This is me getting my history nerd out every single week. So,
Awesome.
as you look around, I want the 4 of you to give me intuition rolls.
Target number.
5. This is fairly subtle, I think.
I rolled it as an attack by accident, so
That's all right.
okay.
Okay. Benjamin, thank you. We needed one. Benjamin, this makes sense. You've seen them since they came out of the jail cell. You kind of glance over at the criminals that were released. They are not the same as the merry people. They are a bunch of scruffy, nasty-looking badasses. And a couple of them are sort of nudging each other and starting to talk behind cupped hands.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, for chat, the pile of people out on the road is getting truly violent.
Edward actually happens to be kind of like a little bit higher in a hospital chain. So he does have some medical training. So seeing people injured kind of around camp, he's going to kind of go and take a look at it and see what he can do for these people.
Oh, wow. Okay. Given your 21st century knowledge, you can, that's gangrenous. We need to scrape this off, and, willow bark and all that stuff you would know. Right? So absolutely. You start helping the merry people, especially
Asher's
the injured
leaning
ones.
into Robin, but watching Edward and thinking, well, that's really nice of him and really attractive, and just like looking at all the attractive folk. And then
He's got,
Robin Hood, I'd be like, that was pretty awesome. What was the whole plan there? Just lots of attention and lots of running?
And he's got his arm around you still, and he looks at you and he says, "It's just Sunday. And he starts to lead you around, and he's shaking hands and talking with the wounded and just being a really good leader of people. Like, oh, I saw you in there, nice work. And there's no way he saw that person. Like, you know where he was, and you know where this person was. You no way he saw this, but he's the. I want another and I want this with advantage because you are, shall we say, enamored. I want another intuition check out of you. Give me it twice.
And target number this time?
5. This is still fairly subtle. I'm letting you roll 4 dice, so we'll see. Yeah, 5 should do.
Oh, it's 4 dice. Sorry, I was rolling 2.
Oh no, 2
Still
twice.
getting used to
So yeah, there's your first
2
one.
twice so far. Yeah.
Because I gave you advantage. So yeah, doesn't matter. You got a 6 anyway.
Oh, I didn't roll it yet. No, I did.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There it is.
Wow.
Okay.
Many 6s and 5s. You that makes perfect sense. This
Yeah, it does.
The Robin talking to all of these people is fake as it's fake AF. I mean, it is pure show. It is absolutely designed to keep them loyal to him. There is no real emotion behind it. In fact, you kind of replay stuff back in your head. There's never been any emotion aimed at you either. And he's grabbed you and kissed you. And you kind of look over at him again, and you kind of see through the mask. And there's nothing behind it. There's no emotion.
Why is it, Robin, that you do what you do? What do you get out of this?
And all the falsity falls away. All the smiling stuff falls away. And he takes you around the corner of a tree, and you hear snickering around the other side of the tree, like, oh, already? But once he gets you around the tree, he takes his hand off your shoulder and says, "Could you please call me Robert?"
Robert. I can, of course, call you Robert. He leans in and kisses him. He's like, oh, well.
And he kind of he finishes the kiss and then backs you up just this much, so he's right there in your face, and he's got this honest mask on. It's actually Sir Robert.
Sir Robert. My history isn't so great, Sir Robert. I mean, my current history.
Loxley.
Yeah.
What?
And I pretend I know who that is.
That was one of the people who probably was Robin Hood, is Sir Robin Loxley.
Oh, gotcha.
While he's still holding you, he says, "I have to tell you, I was in the Crusades. I cared. I fought for king and country. And then I saw another knight kill a pagan boy just for walking in front of his horse. I don't even remember doing it, but I struck him from his saddle and killed him in the street. For this I was outlawed." And he says it almost as 2 words, because that's exactly what outlaw really means. It means you no longer have the protection of the laws of the nation. It means anyone can kill you. Anyone can take your stuff, and there's nothing the government will do about it.
I'm sorry to hear that, Robert. That's awful. So if you don't care and you're broken, I've heard stories of the great Robin Hood. Are you really stealing from the rich and giving to the poor? Is that all just stories? What is it that you do?
First, I'm not Robin Hood. This, and he flips a hood up, is my robbing hood. I wear it so they can't see me, so they don't know who I am. Second,
That's a great name. I like it.
that's a wonderful story. Where did you hear that I did that?
I've heard it on the streets. People talk. They talk about the good that you do, or if it's not true, then the story they wish that you do. I've always wanted to know if it's true. I've been hearing it for years.
The only poor man that benefits from what we steal is the poor bartender who has to put up with us when we come into town to party.
So then what you do is just for fun? It's just a Sunday fun? None of the stories are true?
If I'm an outlaw, I should act like one, shouldn't I?
Why not?
Why not indeed? Shall we drink? And he puts his arm around you again. The fake
Let's have
smile
some
rises
drinks.
up. And he tries to take you around the tree. Do you go?
Oh yeah, I go. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I buy the rounds of drink.
On the other
As I know that we're getting near the end, I'll of this, because we found out who Robin Hood really is, and we're getting to the end of our mission. I start like really liberally giving away money to random people I see on the street and people who are sick.
The people in this group, yeah. I mean, these are literally the merry men and other people. So yeah, you're merry persons. So you are handing out this again, a fortune, a small fortune in gold. Most of them have probably never seen 30 silver in one place. Never mind all the gold too. So
I buy the chicken. Like if there's more prize chicken, I buy that.
Yeah. You're just being
for
sweet and
everyone.
wonderful. As
Edward
that
will,
happens,
actually
the
make a
three
bit of
of
a
you.
mistake
yes,
if he can. Him going and helping people, he might be acting like you mentioned, might be acting with a little bit more advanced medical knowledge than they had during the times.
Oh, by far, yeah.
So you can make of that what you will.
I was just about to. Thank you for making sure I didn't miss that. But yes, you're working away, and one of the older men is following you around and watching you. And he says, I've healed many people in many places in many ways, but I ain't never seen nothing like that. Where are you from, lad?
Kansas.
I ain't never been there.
It's far away.
It must be. What are you doing there? And he tries to get you to show him tricks of the trade that you're using.
Edward will go and explain it, like, boiling bandages to go and kill any infections. Going in obscure, like, hey, if you grind this into a poultice and apply it to wounds, it acts as like sort of like an antiseptic. And this is just like weird stuff that he remembered from like med school.
Oh yeah,
having like maggots go and eat dead flesh. So
yep. Absolutely. Leeches, the proper use of leeches, not just like leeching people. Yeah, so you give them the whole 9 yards. Spectacular. Thank you. You've just moved medicine ahead 400 years in an afternoon. Which leaves us with Benjamin and Tholo. The two of you notice that this group of recent escapees is now talking amongst each other. They're looking around. You see a couple of them sort of trying to break branches off of trees. What do you do?
I'm going to go ask, basically ask Scarland, what was his intent with the escapees? Going to be somewhat open about it.
So Will and Little John and Friar Tuck, to give them all their names, are standing around a keg. And as you walk up, you see Little John just reaches over and punches the top of the keg, and the whole thing just goes down into the beer. And they start just scooping beers out and drinking it. And I mean, Little John's mug is to scale. It's not, the rest of them are drinking pints. His is like a gallon. And he's just draining them. And as you walk up, he looks down. Hey, little one, fun day, hey?
Well, it's definitely something new.
So in character, what do you say to Will Scarlet?
Do you have any ideas for what you're going to do with these men and women that you set free?
We just needed some help. We just needed some more people. Some of the ones we had here were so stupid the sheriff actually caught them.
Oh? So the sheriff did these things to these people?
The sheriff does everything to everybody, doesn't he? Here, beer.
Now, for some reason, I thought it might be the war. Yeah. I'll partake.
Oh, the warden works for him. That's Guy. Guy, actually, is Canadian, or it's English. Guy of Gisborne. I can't do that name without the voice. 2 years every Monday. Guy of Gisborne is the jailer. Also from the Robin Hood stories. All these names are. And I only had to look 2 of them up. I'm really quite proud of myself. So, Benjamin.
Oh, so if they're joining, do you have any anybody who works still nearby?
Not so much. Our last one was, well, you know how it is. He got old and, how do you say, retired to the bar.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how long we're gonna be here, but if you have a quick dagger or something that needs quick shining.
You know what I could use?
Looks like you might
About
need a little
1,000
bit of
feckin' arrowheads.
that's
And he
sick.
starts pulling out all these blocks of metal. I stole this one from, and he start telling you the whole story about every one of them is stolen from a different place. Will Scarlet is the worst kind of rogue. He just steals shit everywhere he goes. So it's like, oh, this is a cannonball from the church, and that was a cross from another. I don't believe in that church, so you can have that one too. And he's just piling all kinds of metal. Like there's gold and silver jewelry and everything in front of you. You start making arrowheads for
If you
him.
want some arrowheads, I'll see what I can do. I may as well while I'm here.
So you just start banging away.
Oh, particularly with the iron and steel.
Yeah. Start with those and then work on the other ones later. Gold arrowheads would be, that would just be rude, shooting somebody with a gold arrow.
Yeah.
And then leaving it. That's worth more than you made last year. Keep it. Oh, literally, keep the tip.
Well, be that early.
So you start doing that, which leaves us with Tholo. You look over at this group that they've that's just escaped, and there is one particular one that is now clearly giving orders. What would you like to do? You look around, all your co-adventurers are like, they're acting like this is over. They're acting like this is done.
Right, so as all of this has been happening, what I imagine I've been doing is walking amongst the crowd and listening intently. If I had a notebook, I'd be using it, but I've always used my brain that way.
Yes.
And recalling information is something I'm very good at. Not something I'm very good at, so I might need your help, Kev.
Yep.
And
We'll see if I remember either. If not, we'll make it up.
From group to group, listening to conversations. And I imagine as I'm standing close to Edward healing someone, I'm actually listening to Benjamin's conversation. And as I get closer to Benjamin, I overhear a little bit of what Hood has said to Asher.
Absolutely.
And I'm just listening in different directions as I go. And you said I'm now getting close to one individual. Is that correct?
You can get close to them if you wish. What you are is noticing that of this group of escapees, the ones that they helped escape, who they've basically ignored since they got here, they are clearly conspiring amongst themselves, and there is one of them which is clearly taking charge and starting to issue orders to the others.
Right, and this person taking charge is clearly not like in some way against Robin.
It is clear as day to you that they are planning an attack. Yeah. Because they're sort of like prying branches off of trees and looking around for daggers and rocks and anything they can get their hands on.
Sure. Do they show any signs of being part of the military or the Kingsmen or the Sheriffsmen? No, nothing like that.
Not at all.
And as I've been listening, have I overheard anything about the king or about anyone in the King's Guard?
The king and the King's Guard, not so much. But what you do over here is some of these people. You hear one of them say, "Yeah, we could live here, absolutely." They've done all the hard work.
I
I know what I want to do.
go, Benjamin. Go.
Go. Yep. That moment.
So, but I
Benjamin.
have a whole bunch of like small things around. My thought was kind of, Tholo said that they had a kind of, I don't know how much of the arsenal they've kind of described. I kind of want to take some of the gold, make a golden shuriken for him.
A golden jerkin.
For Tholo. I mean,
Oh, nice.
we're making arrowheads and looks
Sure.
like similar enough that you're not going to notice it too much. That there's a different design. And when I'm
Can't wait to
when
play
I
out
finish it,
that
do you mind if I
interaction you give that to me.
Oh, okay. I don't know what
That's
point
great.
you want to say he kind of gets through it or works on that, but I don't know when you either area want to kind of have Tholo and
It's
you know,
done when you want it
come
done.
over and
This
kind of
is,
receive
I
it.
say yes.
Right.
This is the break my game moment. In a fraction of a
Cool.
second, you have manufactured. I don't even want to know how a golden jerkin.
Cool.
What would you do with that?
I'm gonna probably see if Tholo's kind of beckon her over or him over real quick.
Sure. So as I'm coming close to this person, I'm overhearing this conspiracy theory. I'm tugged a little bit, and I look over and Benjamin, how do you do this?
I'm probably gonna start with my hand my backside up, just so that the other people don't see this weapon that they've never seen before, anything like it. Do you mind if I give you something?
And I'm distracted
Scarlett gave
by
me a,
this, what this is happening, and I what do you need? Sure. What's
Scarlett gave me a good bit of material, and I thought you might have an interest in something I put together.
sure,
I have to
yeah,
interrupt
what-
for a
what
second.
is it?
Did you mean a bodkin, like a dagger? Sort of thing?
I assure you.
Sorry, a shuriken.
Shuriken.
I
Or
was thinking about
shuriken.
throwing
Oh,
star.
star.
okay. I heard jerkin,
Sorry
like
about
the
that.
jacket.
Jerkin.
And I was thinking,
Oh,
how do you
oh,
make?
no.
I don't even want to know. That's why I said I don't even know. I don't know you did it. Okay, a
I was
shuriken.
thinking
So it's
arrowheads and
throwing. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you take a. Got it. This makes way more sense now. Whew, I'm glad I asked. Gold shuriken is handed to you. Yes.
First of all, I look at it and I look at Benjamin and I look back at it and I said that this is beautiful. And I'm listening to the. Does it seem like they're just about to attack right now?
I was just about to say you hear 5, 4, 3, 2.
Well,
And I throw the
Excellent.
shuriken and like just take it from Benjamin like a thank you, and I throw it in the direction I try and aim right for the person who's leading.
Absolutely. At that moment, whoosh, you just throw without even looking, just like you saw Robin do several times this afternoon with his arrows. And Benjamin, you weren't there, but if you were, you would have seen exactly the same level of confidence in Tholo's eyes. Just, I got this. Whoosh. And the two of you turn and look at their still outstretched hand, and beyond your fingers, you see the man standing there, and there's a red line on his forehead, and one point of the gold shuriken sticks out, just like those feathers did earlier today. And like a tree, in the dust, the others look, drop their weapons, and turn and just sprint into the forest. You hear Robin behind you. Oh, must have been a bad lot then, was it?
had those before.
Do you have any idea why part of your group would be conspiring against you?
Well,
They
they
could
weren't
just
part
not
of
get out of
mine.
jail.
They were replacements. I guess I need to pick a better class of jail next time. Oh well, Sundays being Sundays, you know. Drinks, anyone?
More
And
drinks. Great adventure. Hello. That was an amazing shot.
Oh yes, you. I'm getting you absolutely shit-faced, and hands you Asher another drink. It's a
I'll
great
drink until I can't drink no more. Best end of the adventure ever.
The
I'm
question
walking
is,
back over to
yeah.
the body, and I'm gonna take the shuriken back.
take the
wiggle
shuriken
it
back.
out.
Yeah, clean it out,
I go
wipe it on
back
his,
over to
wipe it on his
Benjamin.
stuff.
Yeah. Like, what? Why you made this for me?
Yeah.
What possessed you to do this? We've just met.
I
This
was
is
making
gorgeous.
arrowheads. There's some gold in it. Didn't really seem right making an arrow out of gold, and I figured try something different.
Now, Tholo,
Making
you are an
arrows takes a little
expert.
bit
You are an expert in weapons, and you might not be an expert in metallurgy, but you know gold is like squishy. It's famous for being soft, but somehow
Right.
this, like, it's not. It's been hammer forged, and this is possible to do with gold. It has been hammer forged until it is actually a stiff, almost brittle metal.
I'm going to find a bit of twine or string or something because shuriken usually have a hole in the center.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tie it around my neck so it's there, so it's always available. And then I'm going to, as I'm looking for that twine, I find a small circular, or too pure of a sphere of red, some kind of material that I have no idea what it is. It's something I've just picked up along my travels, and I hand it to him and I say, if you can do something with this, I'd like you to have it in return. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Oh, thank you. I'll kind of put it in the pouch and take a look at it probably between.
And
See what it might be used for.
The sun is starting to set, and you're already in this thick forest, so it doesn't take long for it to get dark. A couple big bonfires fire up. Somebody somewhere finds a pig and starts to roast it. And the party just heads on into the night. Many, many ales, many songs, many dances.
Asher starts a drunken song in the bar for sure. And joins in, even though he doesn't know the words. He's gonna be like,
absolutely. And until the next morning, when you all awake with horrible hangovers because ancient beer was vicious, it's like 12% alcohol. You wake up in the morning, make your way back to the door where you find your pile of rocks. Literally, it's an inukshuk, which is just a pile of rocks that means people have been here. That's literally what it means. And you pull them aside, pull open the door, and look at first into this incredibly bland little room with its gyprock walls and its cheesy wooden door with the crappy silver hinges and the crappy plastic lawn chairs and the fluorescent light fixture that's humming on the ceiling and one bulb's kind of flickering.
I might use some of my 15 grand to get some better chairs if we're gonna keep traveling in this piece of junk.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind me interjecting,
I don't.
On our way through town, I wanted to kind of leave the silver and gold that I had half and half with the Fletcher and the blacksmith.
Absolutely. So
I was hoping to ask Robert for a little lock of hair I could take with me to forever
Robin's
remember.
hair. Absolutely. Yes, you may absolutely. Yeah, lock of Robin's hair. That's perfect. Nobody can ever prove that came from the past.
Yep. Sounds good to me. Can I leave a lock of mine in return?
You absolutely can. You can leave whatever you like with Robin, and we'll just leave it at that.
All right. Sounds good to me.
So you step into the room. The doors close. The doors on the other side open. And as you step out, still in your regalia from your trip, the box is now in this room waiting for you, and the head rises again. And the narrator, still absolutely without changing in any way, shape, or form, looks pleased. Tell me what you've learned. Do you know who he is?
Asher sinks into a lawn chair and is like, "Oh, voice in the sky. I am so hungover. Can we talk about this when we're back on planet Earth, current time 20 whatever year?
Oh, close the door. We are. And the other
Are you
door
there?
opens, and you're back into the office. Suddenly looking very bland and concretey and gray, and you can feel and hear the rain pounding on the outside of the building.
I feel like I'm
There are
able to articulate almost in chronological order each thing that we experienced and each bit of
Absolutely,
information as we go.
Asher, do you share the information that Robert
yeah.
only shared with you? So he is in fact Sir Robert Loxley,
I would share. Robert was
and
quite
he's
quite the man.
dishy.
He's a great kisser. He knows how to use his hands. And he's
Wow,
very
okay,
strong.
so-
He's
He's
got great
Robert
legs.
Loxley. He's got a lock to my heart.
He was also known as Robin Lacks Key, as in he breaks in because he lacks the key.
Hmm.
That was the original trend. That's what they think. It went from Loxley to Lax Key, and then Robin Hood because he wore a hood and robbed people.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I
you
share
guys
all that.
explain
There's
it
no-
all.
yeah.
And when you finish, the head sinks back into the box, and a familiar shimmer happens above it, and you see a 3D projection, and it's a university professor speaking to. You can see a theater full of people, and you hear the narrator's voice said, "We just thought you might like to know," and it cuts to the audio. And the lecturer is talking about Robin and his merry men. And it all sounds very familiar. Until he starts talking about the 4 merriest men. The 4 that knew Robin for but a brief time and completely changed the way he did business. The 4 that turned him from a common roadside thief to a hero. The 4 that broke the man who was broken in such a way as to heal him and to create one of the great heroes of his time and ours. And the program ends, and the image shimmers out, and the narrator's face rises back up again from the box. And again, with no expression whatsoever on the face, says, "Your payment is on the table." And you look over and there are 4 cards on the table. When and if you go over and beep them, they have exactly as promised, 15,000 credits each on them. Untraceable money, which is not supposed to happen in this world, but it is. It's all but magic. Now, as to your next adventure, what do any of you know about King Midas?
Ooh.
And that is where we will drop the curtain on tonight's show.
Wow, that was fun.
That's funny.
Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Wow. Just so you know, about 80% of that was completely off the cuff. That's how I'm running this campaign. I have a brief setup at the beginning and a couple activities, and the rest of it depends on what you guys do. So thank you so, so much. This is an exercise in creative communal storytelling, like all my games are now. So I love it. You guys all had input. You all brought stuff to the table. You all made it unique and different. And one of you became Maid Marian, and I had no idea that was going to happen.
Me neither.
I guess
But
to be
Asher
fair,
loved it.
it was probably originally your main Marian, right? Because you were his main Marian.
I was his main Marian. Oh yeah.
And then later, some sexist historian changed it to Maid Marian. You see, that's exactly the kind of thing
Yeah.
that you were trying to get away from, right? This is what you were trying to resolve.
That's exactly how the story goes. Now we know the real truth.
So, real quick again, I want to do some thank yous here because this is my favorite part of the night. Thank you, Villa. Oh man, what a blast. I'm so glad you came and joined us here. Edward is this sort of little stable creature in this world of mayhem. I can see him being this one that never quite gets frazzled like the rest of them. I'm looking forward to it. The sort of the pillar that the rest of them are going to cling to, I suspect. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
Oh, Nick, I love Benjamin. He is so innocent and sweet and powerful and dangerous and no idea of the power he honestly wields. And I love those characters because they've got to discover what they can do and then they can do it. Thank you so much. I love them. And I officially forgive you the Schmeidermeyer last name. Schmeidermeister. I got it wrong. Schmeidermeister last name. Yes, I
Schmeidermeister.
officially forgive you because the character is so great.
Schmeidermeister.
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 Oh, I'm going to save you for last, actually. Saber, thank you so much. I know we've played before. Every time you come to the table that I'm at, the characters are so different. Like the one you played in the one shot was very different from Angelo, was very different from Tholo, was very different from the ones you bring on our fun shots. I'm always waiting to see what comes next. Thank you. Tholo is Tholo is amazing. This world Tholo kind of fit into. I'm really interested to see when we get to some of the worlds where they're going to be less, where they're going to blend in a little less. So I'm looking forward to that very much.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for joining me with this. And last but definitely bravest, because like I said, never played this system before, never played with, never streamed before, trust in all of us, and just hurl yourself in, and to go in at the deep end and swim like you swam. I will deliver to you the ultimate compliment I give, which is you fit right in. With this group of people that we've built, and it is amazing to have you on board. I knew this was going to work, and it did. I'm so happy. Two thank yous
you
left.
for creating such a safe space. I'm going to thank you before you do your last two thank yous. So thank you for creating this space. I was trying to sneak
through without that, but thank you. I appreciate that very much. This is where I wish I didn't have such a good camera so you couldn't see me blushing.
And thank you for playing my Robin Hood.
With pleasure. We did something new with Robin Hood tonight, I suspect. I don't think anybody else has done that before. So thank you for taking me down that path. That was a joy. There are two thank yous left. All those wonderful people over there in chat. I watched it all night, just rolling and rolling and rolling all night. It was amazing. You guys got engaged. You had fun. You talked amongst yourselves. You talked to us. Sometimes we managed to talk back. Thank you, Twitch chat, so much. And this next one's weird because these people don't exist yet. I'm thanking the people that are going to watch this on YouTube in the future. So thank you to those people too. I'm so glad that you had fun tonight, chat. Thank you so much. This is why I do this. Everybody's smiling, and so my job here is done. With that, until next time, same thing I always say. Please be nice to each other. Good night.